Why are men not looking for work?
7 million able-bodied men between the ages of 25 and 54 are not only not working, they are not looking. They're affirmatively not looking for work. Never in peacetime, never has that metric existed before. We have 4 million more open jobs today than we did pre-pandemic, and we have 4 million fewer people in the workforce. Like that's actually happening. If I tell you that there are 11 million open jobs in the country right now.
Much to think about, bro. Much to think about. Isn't this the fucking shit jobs guy or whatever who unironically is like such a weird guy? Like, he built his career on basically showcasing some of the worst jobs that people take on, dirty jobs, okay? That, of course, are historically also less paid than others, right? And he's just like this weird get back to work libertarian. It's so crazy. He's like the last guy that you should normally expect to be like this.
Right now, that's not political. That's just a fact. Yeah. And no one can dispute it. No one does dispute it. But
he's an art student and went to school for ballet, and now he's a shill for the CERT Mill Trade School and anti-unionization. Yeah, it's a fucking piece of shit.
What immediately happens is my buddies on the left, to your point, when I say, why do you think there's so much opportunity here that can't be filled? They'll say, because business owners are pricks. They're greedy and they're rapacious. And if they paid more money, those jobs would fill. My buddies on the right, when I ask them the same question, will say,
wait, so his leftist friends, which I guess he has leftist friends, told him the truth.
And if they paid more money, those jobs would fill. My buddies on the right, when I ask them the same question, will say, because people are lazy. People are just lazy. They don't want to work.
Yeah, my buddies on the right. What do those buddies on the right do? They are the backbone of the U.S. economy, of course. Landowners, landlords, and jet ski dealership inheritance recipients. So, those guys aren't lazy. They're job providers, okay? How dare you? How dare you say that? Slumlords? Yeah, people who inherited an HVAC company from their shit-ass dads, dude. Oh, my Lord. Those are the guys who are the real producers, brother.
Won't show up early. They won't stay late. They won't take a bite of the shit sandwich when it's their turn. They won't do the thing that needs to be done. So that's how it becomes politicized. It doesn't change the fact that there's still 11.
This shit makes me so mad. Like, it makes me so mad because, and it pairs up really well with this incredible thing that I am going to bring up right now that I retweeted recently, okay, earlier this morning. But we never look at responsibility of the owner class. What the fuck? Look at this. Look at this Wall Street Journal article. The cheek, the nerve, the gall, the audacity, the gumption, okay? Since the onset of the pandemic, several employees have asked for more pay when managers asked if they do more work, she says. It was not like that before COVID at all. Yeah, no shit. That's what a tight labor market is supposed to do. That is literally Econ 101. That's macroeconomic principles. You learn it. That's literally how this works. But because, as Max Kennerly correctly points out, the U.S. labor market has been so lopsided in bargaining power for capital for so long that the bosses are confused and terrified when it shows signs of functioning like a real market, such as when employees do things like declining to do extra work without pay. This is insane to me. They're like, what? What? You want more pay for more work? What? It's like, what do you mean? That is the point. That is how this is supposed to work. That's what the textbooks say. That is literally what the textbook says. Your textbook writes that. Why are you frustrated and confused? And the only reason why they're frustrated and confused is because, once again, no matter what, it's because these motherfuckers are comfy. Because capital has won that battle. Okay, capital has dominated for so many years that they just go, oh my God, a tight labor market, we got to do something about it. We got to do something about the tight labor market. What the f- do we do about it? We got to make sure it's no longer tight. Like, for example, what could prompt a widespread return of professional ambition? A severe economic downturn that sends unemployment soaring might make workers feel they need to work harder to show their value. We have to starve them out. And it's crazy that they can like openly write this. But because there is no class consciousness in this country for the working class and only class consciousness for capital owners, okay, the bourgeois, they can just write this. They can write this and people read it. And because they have like a 401k, even though they themselves are like, a pastry chef or some shit, okay? And they are functionally and fundamentally a worker. They don't even recognize the conditions that they're under. They don't recognize that this is not about you, okay? If you have a 401k, you're going to get by this, okay? A 401k does not make you a capital owner, okay? Well, technically it does, but not in the way that like people who are making the majority of their income from their capital working for them. People who make all of their income from capital accumulation are in an entirely different category than you, okay? This is a fundamental thing that most people don't understand. Leftists don't even understand this. That's why they always come in here and yell at me. If I stop streaming tomorrow, I don't just make money off the pre-existing money that I have, okay? I make $0 if I stop streaming. That's how this works. Now, having said that, I have enough capital that I could invest in the stock market and engage in capital accumulation, in which case I would become a capital owner. But as it stands, the amount of money I make, no matter how large it is, okay, it doesn't matter. It's not through investments. You still have your t-shirts that you can sell, right? Yeah. Yes, I do. You still make money through your labor. It doesn't matter if you enjoy the labor. It's still labor. Yes. But the problem is people don't understand that. They have no capacity. They have no capacity to recognize it. Like they think work is supposed to be grueling, gruesome, awful. Do you refuse to invest? I just don't care. I don't care enough to do so. I have enough money. I feel I am very comfortable and I love what I do. And I also am worried that like if I engage in capital accumulation, okay, that it will change my perspective in a way that is not reflective of my actual values. I'm fearful. Even though it is a risk that I take, I don't need to actually make more money at the moment, even though it is technically a risk. But I do worry that like if I start making these like investments, right? If I start like dumping all of my capital that I've generated, from you guys, Noisy, thank you for the 50 get the subs, for example, like that. Okay, if I dump it into the stock market, that like my perspective is going to change. Now, having said that, though, do I still personally have a form of like a 401k? Of course I do. And that is something that I tell everyone to engage in as well. For me, it's like, the way it works is like this. Once I used to feel the anger towards the airline industry in my fucking heart every time I was forced to travel. Why? Because throughout my life, I'm old enough, I'm 31, I saw how they slowly but surely made it worse and worse and started adding all these hidden fees into every part of air travel. Okay? I saw it. I experienced it. So every time I got on a plane, my 6'4" ass that's like wider than two people trying to fit into that goddamn narrow ass seat, okay? And not be able to get an emergency seat any longer for free because they decided that you have to pay for that privilege, okay? Once I would just be very frustrated. I would have that anger in my heart. And then I've seen so many progressive people become very concerned about the stock market after they bought a house or got a fancy job. But for me, once I started being able to fly first class, well, not first class business, it's the same shit, but it doesn't matter. First class is just like more expensive for no reason. But once I started flying business, now I don't have that. I don't have that experience any longer. I don't. It's just the reality. Right? It's just the reality. This was something that money was able to open up for me. Like the privilege of being able to fly like a human being and feel like a human and not like a piece of cattle shoved into a sardine style tin can. Okay, so you're worried it will make you out of touch, and it does make you out of touch. It does 100%. So David Harvey said something similar about checking his pension, and he said he felt like he was acting like a capitalist. I think he still engages in it because he needs to survive. We all have to. Yes, of course. Which is precisely why I don't engage in, are you doing self-structural analysis? I mean, I think about that all the time. This is something that I think about all the time. I feel the need to check myself, okay? That's it. I don't want to become out of touch. And there are plenty of instances where I am out of touch, okay? Because my daily experiences are dramatically different than where they were when I was broke. It's true. And I worry that the further away, you're just patting yourself on the back, but are going to continue to do the same shit. You shouldn't be flying at all. Don't fly. What? Jesus Christ. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, I should be walking everywhere. But my point is the way the thing is, like, look, it is inevitable. It is inevitable that your material conditions change your outlook, okay? It's something that I recognize, something I talk about a lot. So I try to make sure that I do not lose sight of that out of fear that I will lose sight of my current worldview, okay? So, as I said, though, that anger and resentment that I felt in my heart for airlines still very much exists because I see their awful business practices. I see them engaging in price leadership. But like the personal harm that I personally experience from those policy changes or those changes that airlines engage in goes away when I have more money, and that. I think, and not feeling that resentment personally, I think will, especially on a long enough timeline, will genuinely change my perspective, which is something I fear. Okay? I fear that. And I don't want that to change. So that is one of the reasons why I don't engage in the stock market. And plus, I don't need it. You know what I mean?